I bought tickets so you don't have to. From packed stadiums to midnight movie premieres, we're diving into the sights, sounds, and madness of live entertainment. Concerts, films, sports. We go, we watch, we break it all down. This is I Bought Tickets. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the first installment of I Bought Tickets. Today's thing that we bought tickets to, F1, the movie. So let me kind of get you into how we get to this summer movie, F1, right? Past few years has been this really, really engaging, I will say, Netflix drama / reality TV show, Drive to Survive. Kind of came out during the pandemic. Right after the pandemic is when it kind of picked up speed. And a lot of people, especially in America, were tuning in, right? Like this was, I don't know, this was a Love Island type of like explosion for F1, right? As that is just about to end. And this caused a lot of interest in the American audience for F1. You know, it's races are on ESPN. People are tuning in, things like that. A lot of Americans have started to like a lot of racers, and a great way for the brand to kind of cap off this explosion of interest, a movie, right? So that's what we're going to talk about, the movie F1 that just came out. For me, expectations kind of going in were a little bit like, I want to see it, right? I just wanted to see it. I remember seeing a trailer at one of the other films that we went to see this year, and I was like, you know what? I'm down. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty fun. And when we went to see it, I was definitely impressed with what I saw. But Austin, let's get a couple of your first impressions or kind of early impressions, and when we decided to say, hey, let's go to F1. Let's go see the movie.
My early impressions of this movie were kind of none, because I didn't hear about this movie. I haven't seen any trailers. My expectations weren't high or low for this movie, but after seeing it, I was happy. It was a great experience for me. I'm really glad I got to see this movie. Just to throw it back to you.
All right, yeah, cool. So let's get right into it, right? Movie stars Brad Pitt, co-star Damson Idris of Snowfall fame, Franklin Saint, if you watch that TV show. And for me, off the bat, when it comes to a Brad Pitt movie, I usually expect good things, right? Like, I've seen a lot of his stuff outside of the theaters. I was never old enough or just wasn't tuned in enough with him to go see his movies in theaters when they come out. And I was impressed, right? Like, this was a classic summer blockbuster for a Hollywood actor who's been out for a little minute. You put him on the billing because the movie should be good. And it was. I was definitely impressed by his performance that he gave. Classic kind of old man returning to the sport, got to turn up the new pups. And for Brad Pitt at his age, it works, right? He's not trying to be some Superman. He's just a race car driver, and that really worked for me, because I'm definitely tired of, like, you know, what was it, Taken with Liam Neeson? We got this old man being a CIA agent doing too much for the age that he was at, for his big age. That's not this movie. He's definitely feels like he's like the character matches where the actor is also at in life, and it felt perfect for me. What about you, Austin? For you, for this being like a blockbuster movie, what would you think of the performance gave by our top billing, Brad Pitt?
So this is my first time I've seen Brad Pitt in a theater, and I think he did a really good job. He was kind of like, he was still cool, but he was just old. And he did it very well too. Like, he still had this like swag about him. Like yeah, I still got it. Like, even though I'm just kind of bummy looking, I'm not a bum.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, man. That's a great way to put it. I think for me also, when you kind of look at what this had to offer, I think it offered really one of a great experience for what it's like to be an F1 driver. One of the co-producers on this project was Lewis Hamilton, formerly of Mercedes. He's 8-time kind of champion. So having him in the production studio, kind of helping guide this project into getting you into what it means to be F1, I think really helped, because it showed kind of where people might be in their careers and in their life, right? Some people might be, you know, I'm a little bit older, but I'm still in here. I'm still doing my thing. And then on Damson Idris' side, it's the young gun, right? I want to prove myself. I got a lot to prove. I know I've got something, but I don't get the opportunities that a lot of other people might get. So I might be a little bit more, rowdy, a little bit more dickish when somebody steps into my space, right? Because I'm trying to prove myself, and I really like that. Another thing for me also that I really liked was the soundtrack for this movie as well. I think this is the first time where I was like sitting in the theater. This has been not the first time. This has been a long time where I was sitting in the theater and some music came on, and I was like, "Oh, ooh, I like that. Who is that? That's Doja Cat? That's Don Toliver? What? We got them on this soundtrack? Okay." And hands up, stay the truth, tell the truth, stay in church. I definitely, was in the theater kind of peeping on my phone, like, what else is on this soundtrack? Okay. And I definitely have tuned in a little bit. Some highs for you also beyond just the Brad Pitt performance.
So the highs for me was the story overall. The story was really good, and it just gave you a good story of rivalry, camaraderie at the same time in a sport.
Yeah,
because where we see where the team is at, they're not really comrades in this sport together. Like they all seem like individuals. And Brad Pitt, he did a great job in the story. Like his character Sonny, he did a great job just bringing them all together slowly by slowly, like showing examples what it takes and showing Idris what it takes to be a leader.
Yeah, that's a great point. Staying on Idris, I think for me, I haven't watched all of Snowfall. I'm going to be honest with you. Seen a lot of the clips, but I think the famous clip for me of a performance that he can give is a performance in Snowfall where he's like talking to himself, and he's got like his like evil or his like his drug dealer self kind of coming at him, talking about like her, him, bodies, and that's a great scene. Love that scene and the build up to it. And so when you see him in this film, he's the second kind of name on the billing, and I was expecting a little bit more from the character. I wouldn't say it's Damson Idris's fault, but definitely the character that he plays, JP, the young rookie, just didn't give me enough where I was like, yeah, I feel it. I feel this character. I hesitate to say that he got out acted, but it felt like that when you had Brad Pitt's character, Sonny, kind of doing what he was doing. It definitely felt like this movie was written for Sonny, and Damson Idris' character just felt kind of like an obstacle, but kind of also like a foil, I think is the word that they use in storytelling, where he's like this foil where you see what maybe Sonny was like when he was younger, and it just wasn't enough for me. I'm not going to lie. The movie wouldn't hurt, to me, it wouldn't hurt, unfortunately, if Damson was or wasn't in it. His story just wasn't enough to keep me invested. Austin, any lows for you?
Lows for me was the lack of seeing JP in the movie because he suffers a really terrible freak accident. Well, not freak. It was his fault because he was being arrogant during the race with I believe it was like he was supposed to hit this curve at a certain time and he rushed it because he wanted to get first place. He got a little too hungry and then he got into an accident. And after that accident, he kind of just takes the back heel, which during the movie, these guys are supposed to be like, not only, they're both the protagonists, but they're also like antagonistic to each other. And you kind of lose that feeling because you go for a good few like minutes without JP in the movie. And then we have kind of this twist villain as well that just shows up at the end and it just doesn't quite work for me.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts?
I think that's fair. That's fair. The twist villain was definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to add they're trying to up the stakes for the movie because at this point we were definitely getting to the end. Sonny's been like kicked off the team and whatever, and they're trying to re-up the stakes. But at the end of the day, great movie. I think how they capped it off for me was, and kind of ended there, is this great scene where it was a great moment in the movie where Sonny's talking about like what it's like for him to be a racer. And at the final point of the movie, they get to that scene and it's really, really good. It basically feels like you're on like in the car or like on the front of the car as Sonny is just flying down the track. And it's probably one of my favorite scenes. And that will tie into what I would say about why you need to see this movie in theaters, right? That scene was on an IMAX screen. And without that IMAX screen, I don't know if that scene hits the same for me. It's that wide, big screen, seeing all of that track as big as it was on that screen I felt so immersed in that moment, and it capped off the movie very well to me. Austin, your thoughts about like how they did a good job of immersing us, and how I think the IMAX screen, to me, it don't really put words in your mouth, but to me, it helped me get immersed in the movie.
I feel like that's just the cherry on top. Like seeing it in IMAX, I would personally say is the way to go, because you felt like not only were you a driver, but you felt like you're part of the crowd too, cheering on this team that needs to win. And it just did a great job at like with the sound, because I don't think this would have sounded good if you just streamed it. I'm going to be real. Like if you don't have an at-home theater, it's just not going to hit the same as you would at an IMAX theater.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's all we have for you. This was the review of F1. We will definitely be doing more of this over the summer. So concerts that come our way, more movies that come our way, definitely probably stay tuned. I believe either Superman or maybe Jurassic World will be next, and we will have that for you. So stay tuned. Peace.